Hello, Shitty Camera Peep here, and today we're going to redo my Prime Minister tier list that I made back in May, I think. The reason why I'm doing this is because I've actually done a lot more research on what each Prime Minister did, so I feel like I should redo it. And since I've redone all of them, I've decided to change the tier list up. So now, instead of having a racist tier, I just replaced it with the E tier and made F the last tier. Because, they did accept the White Australia policy, but these prime ministers, they still did some good stuff. So, enough blabbering, let's get started. Alright, first prime minister, Edmund Barton. He's pretty alright, I guess. I mean, yeah, he started the Federation of Australia. Well, he was one of the founding fathers, I guess. But the biggest issue with him was he made the White Australia policy. Not the brightest thing he's done. So I guess we should just put him in C tier. Cause he made the White Australia policy, but he made us have a government. That's pretty cool. Alfred Deakin. Okay, so you're gonna see me refer to many of these prime ministers as deacons. The main reason being because most of the prime ministers that have occurred are somewhat similar to Deakin. Because what Deakin did was he just made some essential stuff, but he didn't really do anything mind-blowing. So he made wages a thing, pensions, a railway system, and a navy, basic stuff. So for prime ministers who I will label as deacons, they just go into C tier. Just like Deakin himself. Alright, Chris Watson. Here's the thing. Him and some other prime ministers after him have had the shortest terms, and since they have had short terms, that means they basically have done nothing when they were prime minister. So for them, they will all go into the E tier. So Chris Watson, he only lasted 3 months and a bit, I think. Earl Page lasted 19 days. Arthur Faden only lasted 40 days. Frank Ford lasted a whopping 8 days. And John McEwen, who I originally put in F tier because I couldn't say his last name. Turns out that's actually how you say it, McEwen, which I originally thought was how you said it. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into George Reid. He didn't last that long, so he should be in E tier. But he did have one thing going for him, and that was his comebacks. Back then, politicians were really rough on each other. Still are, but here, Jesus Christ, one of them just rubbed George Reid's belly because he was a fat person, and they said, "What are you gonna call it, George?" And George said, "If it's a boy, I'll call it after myself. If it's a girl, I'll call it Victoria. But if, as I strongly suspect, it's nothing but piss and wind, I'll name it after you." And his last one is, "You are a dreadful man. If you were my husband, I'll put poison in your tea." And George, of course, responds with, "And madame, if you were my wife, I'll drink it." So for those comebacks, I'm just going to put him in C tier. Alright, Andrew Fisher over here. Rocking a good mo, he's a deacon. He established the Commonwealth Bank. He made more rail lines. Made a defence force. He also, for some reason, made Canberra the capital, when it really should have been Victoria, but Joseph Cook. To be honest, I feel kind of sorry for him. His party, after he won the election, he didn't have a majority of the Senate, so he could barely pass any acts. So he decided to announce an early election, and he lost it. I guess I could put him in C tier, because I feel sorry for him. Here's the thing. Apparently, before World War I, he actually rang the British Prime Minister and declared that he would have full support if he did start a war, and he would send troops over to the UK, Gallipoli, whatever. Well, some historians have said that call that Joseph Cook made to the Prime Minister was one of the reasons why the war started. D tier, D tier. Billy Hughes. He's pretty dope because he got us through the war. That's it. He barely did anything. But, I mean, props to him for getting us through the war. So, I guess B tier. Stanley Bruce, I don't think he did that much, to be honest. Like, he lasted for at least 8 to 9 years, and yet I couldn't really find anything that he did. The only thing I could find was that he was pretty infamous for having a lot of debt. And one of his most infamous things was that he insisted that workers accept wage cuts that he was going to implement. And when he said that, he built his family a 16-room mansion in Frankston and was most often seen undertaking golf, horse riding and motoring. So just for that, I'm just going to put this rich snob in the D tier. James Scullin, same with Joseph Cook. I feel sorry for this guy as well. He got in, I think, 3 days before the Great Depression started. How bad is that? Like, Jesus Christ. Also, unlike Joseph Cook, he actually did a good thing. He passed the Arnhem Land Reserve Act, where he allowed the Aboriginals to take a land in the Northern Territory called Arnhem Land and let them live there without any Western influence at all. And to this day, Aboriginals still live there without us touching it at all. So I mean, that's pretty impressive for a Prime Minister who still let the White Australia policy happen. But I mean, he had one term. I feel like maybe if he had a second term he would have gotten rid of it, but yeah, whatever. So I'll put him in the B tier. Joseph Loynes, pretty forgettable, not gonna lie. He's pretty much a deacon. He established the ABC radio, he made air travel exist in Australia, and he restricted dumping in the ocean. That's pretty cool, but that's basically it. I think the most noteworthy thing about him was that he was pretty good at winning elections, which is why he won 3 in a row until his death. So yeah, C tier. Robert Menzies, oh my god. Why do people like him? Every time I say Robert Menzies is shit, people are like, bro, what are you on about? Here's what I'm on about. He's so bad. First of all, he let the Chinese have iron that they made to construct bullets so that they could use it in World War II to kill our troops. He also did the greatest thing and made us get into the Vietnam War. So thanks, Robbie. You're splendid. Just for that, I'm just gonna put him in D tier. John Curtin. He is also like Billy Hughes, where he got us through the war as well, World War II to be exact. But the best thing about him was that he actually made us not coincide with Britain in the war, and instead made us coincide with America. Even though I dogged Robert Menzies for that, and rightfully so, he's not that bad. Like, it's pretty reasonable why he should have done that. Because mate, the Japanese, they were invading the Philippines and shit. So it's pretty reasonable for us to fight with America against the Japs since they're so close to us, you know? So, B tier. Next up, Ben Chifley. Another deacon, but he did a lot more influential stuff. Like, he made a lot of infrastructure that is still being used to this day, like the Snowy Hydro Energy Scheme. And thank God, he started loosening the White Australia policy. But the deacon things that he did was that he introduced the motor industry, he made the ABC become a news platform instead of a radio station. So I would put him in B tier. However, he did one really bad thing. First thing he did was that he was going to nationalize the banks. Well, turns out the reason why he did that was because he wanted to be able to control the banks in order to make sure that there was never going to be similar events like the Great Depression happen on Australia. And now I look like a complete and utter idiot because I said that I did my research when I have basically done zero at all. Good job, me. The second biggest thing was he sent the army to stop a protest that miners were doing, and the reason why he sent the army to do so was because he said they were communists. It's kind of dumb, but no buts. That's actually dumb reason to do so. So for that alone, I'll put him in C tier for communist. Harold Holt, the legendary swimmer himself. I put him in A tier because he allowed the Aboriginals to be in the census, and he got rid of the White Australia policy. The White Australia policy, he kind of got rid of it, but he only got rid of 95% of it. The other 5% was completely written of by Gough. So I'll just put him in B tier. Yeah. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Harold Holt wasn't the reason why we got into the Vietnam War. That was because of, as I previously mentioned, Robert Menzies. I said that in the previous video. I don't know why I said it. I should have done more research, but I didn't. Because I'm a smart person. Gordon, another deacon. He established the Council of the Arts. He made the Films and Television School. He also prevented oil drilling in the ocean, which is pretty cool. But again, another deacon. Okay, Willie over here. I said his last name wrong throughout the whole previous tier list video. I kept pronouncing it as McMahon, except his last name is pronounced McMahon. The second I think I understand English language, they throw this curveball. Like, why is it pronounced McMahon? I mean, I can understand the H being in there, but why is there an O? I hate silent letters. I just hate them. So yeah, D tier. Fuck that last name. Gough, my man, the boss himself, S tier. Like, do I really need to explain why he should be in S tier? If you want to know why he's in S tier, I'll just link a video down below. I would show the video itself here, but it has Darude Sandstorm in it, so I don't want to get copyrighted. Malcolm Fraser, so he was in B tier and he's going to stay in B tier. Cause he was a deacon, but he did a lot better things than the other deacons in this list. For example, he added on more Aboriginal land rights to Gough Whitlam's land rights. He made the SBS. I mean, that could be a good thing or bad thing, you be the judge. He protected the reefs, and he also let the refugees in. Since I like multiculturalism, I would have put him in A, but he also did a lot of stupid stuff, like he got rid of Medicare, and he did a lot of other dumb stuff, but I can't remember them on the top of my head. But that alone, getting rid of Medicare, that's a stupid move for him to have done. So yeah, he will stay in B tier. Bob Hawke, rest in peace, is absolute legend. I originally put him in the A tier, but now I've changed my mind. He's going in S with Goughy, my man. Reason being because he actually brought back Medicare. So yeah, S tier for sick lad. Paul Keating. Alright, I know he's not watching this video, but Keating, I am so sorry for putting you in the C tier. You want to know why? Look up Paul Keating on YouTube. The amount of roasts he gave to the opposition and government, it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. He's basically like George Reid if he was absolutely legendary throughout his whole term. Plus he also gave the Redfern speech. Basically what the speech was accepting responsibility for the stolen generations and what we did to the Aboriginals during those times. A. That's an A. John Howard, he was in C. I'm putting him in D because I have re-reviewed that cricket match that he performed in. Absolutely garbage. I don't even know why I put him in C. How can you not catch a ball, mate? Kevin Rudd. So he was in B, and now I'm going to transition him to A. Originally, it was because he couldn't down a pint of beer, and I didn't want him to coincide with Bob Hawke. But since Bob Hawke is in S tier, Kevin Rudd can go into A tier. Lucky him. Not only that, but he also got us out of the global financial crisis, where we didn't even enter it because of him. He also established ABC3. That is incredible. Love him for that, because Prank Patrol is the best show that has ever been made in Australia. Change my mind, you cannot. Gillard over here, I put it in C tier because of the carbon tax. Because I thought the carbon tax was a bad thing. Turns out it wasn't. It was actually a really great thing, and it actually made our emissions go down. I thought the carbon tax was like a tax that was going to be taxed to us, Turns out it was just a tax to the mining companies in order to stop them from pumping out a lot of emissions, which actually worked. Also, she established the National Disability Insurance Scheme, and that's really about it. That would qualify as a B tier. However, she was the first female Prime Minister of Australia, so I mean, that's pretty damn dope. A tier. Tony Abbott. Don't have to explain why I'm keeping him an F tier. Mentioning his name is just like a crime on society. He's that bad. Don't even research why he's that bad. Just don't. He's an abysmal Prime Minister who should be forgotten. Should really be forgotten. Malcolm Turnbull. So he was in D tier. I'm going to keep it in D tier. Wanna know why? He changed ABC Free to ABC Me. Why did he do that? Oh what, because it includes our community together? Nah, not really. The only reason why it would include our communities and kids and mental health together, whatever he said, is because of the amount of good shows that were made before. Now, there's barely any. The only way you can make ABC Free, I'm not calling it Me, screw that name, is by, I don't know, like bringing back some old classic shows like Prank Patrol. I mean, yeah, they bring back Good Game Spawn Point, but as I said, Prank Patrol is the best show on television. Why did he not bring that back? So, Turnbull mate, if you wanted to make ABC Me an inclusive channel for the young generation, you should have either bring back Prank Patrol or Round the Twist. Either one of those two shows, it would have made you like going to CT or something, but nah, you're going in D. Absolutely disappointing. And finally, our latest Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, who will eventually disappear into nothingness in about 2 years. Mark my words. So again, I'm going to keep him in D tier because he's still new. I mean, a cool ass nickname like ScoMo ain't going to save you into C tier. So yeah, this is my official Prime Minister tier list. If you don't agree, please comment down below. Sorry for the shit camera and the somewhat shit mic quality because of my crappy ass fan on my laptop. Yes, I have a laptop, not a PC, because I'm just cheap. And okay, bye.